Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Once again, the section that we're in Luke, we find the Lord really speaking very harshly about money. Time and time again, chapter after chapter, we're being reminded that with wealth comes great danger, and that wealth can really produce greed in our hearts. He probably summarizes it best by this description that he gives in chapter 16, where he calls it the unrighteous wealth, or unrighteous mammon is probably how a lot of people are familiar with hearing that statement. But unrighteous wealth. Jesus didn't have a very favorable opinion when it came to money, at least not in the way that he spoke to the crowds. And we might wonder, why is it that the Lord is being so harsh in connection to money? And there's probably a lot of reasons why the Lord is very adamant about the dangers of wealth and the need not to be too enamored by wealth and having a lot of possessions and things like that. And it really centers around the audience that he was speaking to. You know, he was there in the first century, there in Palestine, whether in Galilee or in Judea. The people had the mindset that to be wealthy is what really life was all about. Not only just for the sake of having the comforts and the amenities of being wealthy, but also because they felt like that was an indicator that a person was right with God. It felt like if a person had a lot of wealth, it must mean that they're a good person, that they're righteous, because God is blessing them with so much wealth. And Jesus has to be stern on this particular topic, because as the kingdom would come and as the people would begin to express the reality of the kingdom to their families and the neighborhoods and their communities, one of the things that would keep the kingdom from advancing is the love for money. And it would be the one thing that would keep people from really expressing the kingdom in its fullness. It was through generosity, acts of love, sacrifice, giving up of one's possessions for the sake of another. It was through these means that the kingdom would advance. It was through self-sacrifice that the kingdom would advance. And really the kingdom was built upon the idea of love. Having experienced the greatest expression of love through the death of Jesus Christ, but then we ourselves then expressing that in our lives, which would oftentimes require an individual to give up money for the sake of another person. To maybe, whereas one person is rich at one point, to become poor for the benefit of another person, as Paul describes to the Corinthian church. And so having one's mind set on money, having one's heart turn towards money and desiring money would be a very big stumbling block to the advancement of the kingdom. And so the Lord wants to impress on his audience just how important it is to not be too caught up in riches, not to have their lives centered on just acquiring wealth and riches, but about seeking the kingdom of heaven and laying up treasures in heaven, where moth does not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal, but that remains in heaven for eternity for those who have such treasures. Whereas the treasures, the riches that we have here on earth will one day fade away. It will all perish with this world and will not last for any really lengthy period of time. And so the Lord is helping us out here to really have our mind set on what truly matters, to really be focused on eternity, to have a heavenly mindset, to be really diligent and all about the kingdom of heaven, and not to be so caught up in money making. And of course, we always have to qualify that with saying that making money is not bad. Providing for one's family and being able to have money to be able to help people who are in need, that's a good thing. In and of itself, money is not bad, but we also have to keep that also in line with the memory of Paul's writing to Timothy, where he says money is the root of all kinds of evil. So on one hand, it can be a great tool for expressing love and advancing the kingdom, but on the other hand, it could also lead to greed and selfishness and to illicit desires and things along that line. So let's take the things that Jesus says about money to heart. And if we find ourselves getting too caught up in just acquiring and amassing a bunch of wealth just for ourselves, for our own selfish desires, it might be that we need to return back to Luke time and time again, just to remind ourselves what life is all about and what we truly should be striving after. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.